It's Macklin Celebrini's world. We just so happen to live in it.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do, just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we're breaking down the Sharks 6-5 overtime win because we can't have nice things and win things in regulation. But we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about Macklin Celebrini continuing on his insane pace to start the season. We'll be talking about William Eklund in his monster game today as well. Michael Misa scoring his first goal. How the Sharks need to learn to actually hold a freaking lead and dig into the numbers of this game. So before we do all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So, ho-hum, 6-5 overtime win with the San Jose Sharks, having Macklin Celebrini score a goal, same old. Well, no. What Macklin Celebrini is doing now is absolutely insane. Insane. Mr. Celebrini, one, I can't wait till he's in that Sidney Crosby role of like the Mr. Celebrini thing. So through 9 games, Macklin has 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. He is up there among the leaders in the NHL when it comes to points to start the season. And last time I checked, he doesn't turn 20 until next June, when he'll be lifting up the Stanley Cup. No, that would be something. But Celebrini tonight just showing, again, we talked about it after the Rangers game, right? When the team needed him the most, he went out and delivered, right? And this overtime, we have to start with the overtime. Sharks lose the draw, and then they spend the next 3.5 minutes basically hemmed in their own zone. Like they can't get a change. It's Wenberg, it's Liljegren, and it's Eklund out there. And like credit to those guys because they gutted through that, right? Trying their best to just, kind of limit the shots as best they can. Eklund trying to get pressure on whenever he could. Same thing with Wenberg. Both, these 3 guys just hanging in there. Askarov making some key saves in overtime. And yes, I know he let in 5 tonight. We'll talk about Askarov a little bit in a minute, but right there, and the Sharks, they just get it out just enough so that Eklund can kind of go for a risky change. And still there, it's a 3-on-2 situation that the Sharks are able to manage. Celebrini jumps on the ice, right? Steals the puck and goes down. And you knew as soon as he grabbed that puck, like that thing was going in, because he's Macklin Celebrini. Like we have that player where you believe when you need something big, right? An overtime goal. And again, you had gotten hemmed into your zone for 3.5 minutes. You needed something big, and Macklin Celebrini delivers. Just put the C on his chest already. I don't know what else this kid, he's going to, again, we talked about, again, after the Rangers game, he's going to be the next captain because of this stuff like this, right? Because when the team needs him, he delivers. Even the goal to put them up 5-3, right? The Toffoli goal in the power play. Gets the puck, realizes I have time and space, drives, makes the wild penalty kill kind of collapse on him, and then he finds Tyler Toffoli all alone for a beautiful assist there. Celebrini is he's just a different dude, man. We we have a budding superstar here. Like by the end of the year, Macklin Celebrini is going to be a full-blown superstar. Like he is on pace for like 130 points. Does he get to 130 points? Probably not. But I think the way he's going now, would you be disappointed if he doesn't get to if he doesn't hit triple digits? Because the way he's playing right now, he, this kid's incredible, you know, and he's like he is box office every time he steps on the ice. He is a difference making player from the San Jose Sharks. Like, and you hope to one day eventually get one of these guys, and you have one, him and Macklin Celebrini. And like again, I don't want to like because there was a lot of Sharks who played well tonight, and William Eklund tonight, 2 goals and an assist there. Eklund has been one of the most consistent Sharks forwards this season, especially with his two-way play. You saw it in the third period where the Sharks kept putting Eklund out. And I know they were down some forwards here, but Eklund was out there to help try to kind of defend the lead. And Eklund tonight, like about a week ago, I said Eklund's going to start scoring a bunch of goals because Eklund gets hot and he's a streaky scorer. And what have we seen from Eklund recently, right? He's got 3 goals in the last 2 games here. And just his performance playing on the right wing tonight for the first time. Eklund right winger. Apparently that's if you just need to put him on the right wing to score goals. But Eklund just continues to just be that steady presence. Again, like Celebrini's going to get all the headlines and Smith's going to get all the headlines, but Eklund kind of does all the like unsung work for the Sharks to kind of make some of this other stuff happen, right? And yes, absolute like gutty performance from the Sharks as they win their second game of the season. And again, wasn't all pretty. Wasn't like there's plenty of things to work on, and we're going to talk about that here in the second period, or in the second segment here. But I think though, like coming out of this road trip, right? You played really well against the Islanders. Got it. We had the 5 minutes where they just lose their mind, and you couldn't overcome that, right? Get a win against the Rangers, and that again 6-5 or type of overtime win. Great, with Celebrini getting 5 points, and Will Smith getting 4 points. You played toe to toe with a insanely good Devils team, which I think is now won 8 games right now. As of I think they won again today. And you had a chance to win that game. Like you had legitimate chances to at least tie it, if not win that game, right? And then this Wild team, which had a disappointing start. You outplayed this Wild team for majority of the game, but you still got to learn how to close games. And that's going to be the next step for this San Jose Sharks team, right? Is we've gone from, just getting blown out to being competitive last season. And now you're starting to learn how to, you're starting to win some of these games, but now you got to learn how to win. And that's a big step, right? Is putting teams away and not giving them hope. And that's something, we'll talk about in the second period, the second segment. I keep calling it second, but it's just good to see that this team is starting to kind of figure things out here a little bit. So, and of course, congratulations to Michael Misa on his first NHL goal. If you watched the preview show, I 100% called it. I said Michael Misa was going to score today. Like the way he's been playing. Again, they've been very cautious with him, but he's been very effective in his time on the ice. And I think it's not going to be long until we start to see the training wheels come off for Michael Misa, because the kid's good. Like the kid is good. So, but we're going to talk about kind of where the Sharks need to continue to get better. Of course, the penalty kill has been bad, and learning how to kind of hold leads and not just hang on the cat on the string, hanging there ASCII, because the Sharks definitely did that. So we'll talk about that here in just 1 second. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game, want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to big fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe. As well, of course, we'll be doing these reactions after every game. Doesn't matter Monday, Sunday through Saturday, no matter when the Sharks play, we'll be doing reactions after the game. Of course, we cover the best prospect pool in the NHL. Well, CUDA coverage, more fun interviews, all that great stuff. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. Of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right. Great win. But again, like this team still has its struggles, and they almost handed it over as they have had a purchase, or they've done a lot over the past couple of years, is blow these third period leads. And the Sharks almost did it again today. So this is that kind of that learning how to win thing of how do you put a team away? And instead of, you make it 2 goals and then you make it 3 goals and kind of put the clamps down on a team instead of giving up a goal and letting them get back in the game. That's kind of the next big thing for the Sharks. And I think for San Jose today, the penalty kill was a big reason for the Sharks' issues, right? Granted that this power play from the Wild is very good. Like this Wild team is really good on the power play, but struggles at 5-on-5, as you saw today. And they just weren't like going 2 for 4 on the penalty kill. This is the area where the Sharks need to continue to get better. And I know Warsofsky said he thought they played a little bit better today on the penalty kill than what they had done, previously. But it's an area that the Sharks really need to get better. And especially, I know you're missing Mukma Dolan, and you're missing Letty, and you're missing some of these other defensemen. But like, it seems like they're not doing a very good job of the defense of clearing and making things easier for Askarov and for Nedeljkovic. Because I think the forwards are doing a solid job of putting pressure on, between like especially Graf and Delandria, like getting pressure and making the top half kind of have to work a little bit more. But I feel like the defensemen kind of still get stuck out there a little bit, and they're not doing a good job of making life easier for for their goalies here. So that is an area that the Sharks they have to find a way to get this better. Because you cannot live in a world where you're below 70% penalty kill, and it's going to be even lower today after going again 2 for 4 on the penalty kill. So like every team is definitely like looking at the Sharks are a great opportunity for us to get our power play back on track if your power play is struggling. So, but like the third period, like the whole third period, right? And credit to the Wild, right? The Wild trying to get back in this game, and the Wild scored a bunch in the third period to get themselves back into this game. They had 2 5-on-5 goals, and then they scored with I think they just pulled the Valstead to tie it up there, if I recall correctly. But the Sharks, though, they live in this world of like being too comfortable and cautious, and is trying to find that extra gear, right? Of like you're trying to defend. I get it, right? And you don't want to do things rash and kind of throw the puck away and do stuff like that. But good teams, they look to extend that 2-goal lead to a 3-goal lead. Because how many times have we watched, right? The Sharks have a 2-goal lead, blow said 2-goal lead, and then lose said game. And I think that this is going to be the next step, especially with the players that you have, right? With your Celebrinis and your Smiths and your Michael Misas and stuff, like trying to extend that lead and put a team away. So that way, and like, yes, you're going to have to defend, but there's like no team can defend for just 20 minutes straight and hope that yes, we're going to be able to win this game, or we're going to be able to just shut a team down because we can defend for 20 minutes straight. That's not how the NHL works nowadays, right? The players are too good, they're too skilled, and trying to defend for 20 minutes straight, it's a recipe for disaster. And we saw it tonight, right? As the Sharks, they gave up 31 shot attempts in the third period at 5-on-5, and they created 6 shot attempts of their own. Granted, they were quality, like they got good opportunities when the Sharks did, but these are the moments where you have to learn how to control the pace, and you have to be able to kind of push back and find that next gear when a team is trying their best to stay in their own offensive zone and create and try to get pushback for that extra goal. How do you either like the old Kings teams, which would drive me nuts, where like the Sharks, like if you remember, like when the Kings were really, really, really good and like winning their Stanley Cups, like the Sharks would dominate pace of play for a couple shifts, but then they would make one mistake, and the Kings were a really, really good counterpunch team, right? Where they could defend for a while, but then like if you made that one turnover, they were jumping on it and they were making you pay. I don't think the Sharks are going to have the defensive structure for that. I think the Sharks are going to be a team that is going to be more of, we're just going to kind of play keep away and keep the puck away from you. And I think you have a better chance of sustained success by playing that style of just you control the puck, right? Because as I've said a bunch of times, right, defense is for nerds, go score goals. And the whole theory of that is it's easier to play defense by not having to play defense, right? Continue to push, continue to drive offense. Again, you don't have to be reckless about it, right? Like the Sharks shouldn't just like crazy no-look passes and stuff like that. But if the Sharks were able to like just string together a couple of good shifts, like what we saw at the beginning of the game, right? If find a way to string together a couple of good shifts in the third period there, and make the Wild have to work to kind of either A, get the puck back, and B, then try to score that goal. That's going to be the Sharks' best path to win. And again, it's all part of that learning how to win stage as you exit this rebuild and you start to build and start to kind of learn how do you make it so we don't have to have Celebrini put on the Superman cape. And again, having Celebrini put on the Superman cape is really awesome, right? Like that's going to be one of the highlights of the year when they do the whole end of the year. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be one of the NBC Bay Area like videos, right, where you see like the Eklund hat trick day and stuff. Like that's going to be on there at some point here sooner rather than later. Is this Celebrini goal? But it's not a sustainable way to live, where you're getting outshot 31-6 in shot attempts in the third period and having to ask Askarov to hang in there, baby, because you just cannot get your offense out of gear. So we're going to dig into the numbers of this game. We'll talk about every player here as the San Jose Sharks win 2, baby. We're up to 2, 6-5. So we'll get to that in just 1 second. Hockey season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real, getting tickets can be like a total headache. Between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices that jump right before you check out, it's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your favorite team. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. We've used Game Time all the time in our family when we go up to the Bay Area to get tickets for the Sharks. I know we're going December 20th, I think it is, for the Lego game. My father-in-law got tickets. It's a family tradition. We always go around the holidays, and we use Game Time to make sure we get the best price for our seats. And the great thing about it, too, is you can also see what your seats look like. Not that there's a bad seat at the Shark Tank, but If you're on the road, sometimes you don't know what other arenas are like. You know exactly what your seats look like. And the great thing is you can even find NHL tickets for under $25. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets at Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. All right, before we finish up, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. For your second listen, check out the Locked On NHL Game Night. They cover every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. All right. So the numbers, they're not going to be pretty because of the third period. Like the Wild really were trying to play catch up here, and the Sharks almost got away with it until they didn't. But with 50 minutes of 5-on-5 time, shot attempts were 52 to 36. And again, the Wild took 31 shot attempts in the third period. Not a big math guy, but that's 21 shots in the first two, and then 31 in the second period. Actual shots at 5-on-5 are 22 to 18. Scoring chances 26 to 17. Both those in favor of the Wild. They have 15 scoring chances in the third period alone, compared to the Sharks 3. High danger chances 11 to 9. Expected goals for though 2.21 to 2.05. So again, the Sharks quality over quantity today, especially the first two periods. And even in the third period, they didn't get a lot of chances, but when they did, they were pretty good chances for your San Jose Sharks. The line's going to be all mixed up here. Unfortunately, Adam Gaudette left this game and did not return. So luckily the Sharks are heading home here, and they can kind of see what they need to do to kind of manage it. Jeff Skinner was a healthy scratch for this game. If not, you could maybe look at like depending, I would assume a guy like Ostapchuk would probably be your first call up among the when it comes to at least the forwards there. That would be my guess. Would probably be somebody like that who can kind of play that or Ethan Cardwell. Actually, Ethan Cardwell would be my first call up. Sorry, scratch that. Cardwell would be my first call because I think he can slide into that Gaudette role. I think he can slide in there and play that role for the Sharks, but we'll see what goes on here. So we'll probably know more probably on Tuesday. I think they have the day off on Monday if I had to guess. So but anyway, so Eklund, Wenberg, Kershaw played 13:58 at 5-on-5, 6 to 13 shot attempts, 3 to 4 actual shots. Had a goal, gave up a goal. They were matched up against the Kaprizov line as often as Warsawski could, which would make sense because that line, this is probably your most defensively responsible line out of the group, especially with Wenberg and Eklund out there. So expected goals 4.29 to 0.58. Expected goals 3 to 8. Scoring chances 2 to 3. High danger chances. Kurashev, I thought was pretty solid today as well. Had some good opportunities. Drew a penalty as well with Celebrini. I think Celebrini was the guy on the blue line there trying to get him the puck. Wenberg, I know some people are kind of complaining about Wenberg's start. He's definitely getting the toughest defensive matchups for the Sharks. So that's why that's part of the reason why he hasn't been maybe producing as much as you would like from Wenberg, because he's the guy who's been getting all the tough matchups from them. This line had 6 defensive zone starts and 6 neutral zone starts and 3 offensive zone starts. So they're facing some tough minutes there. Smith, Celebrini, Toffoli played 13:55, 10 to 17 shot attempts, 5 to 7 actual shots. Did give up a goal, 0.2 to 0.96 expected goals for, 4 to 10 scoring chances, 2 to 5 high danger chances. For this line, again, like you're going to have some of your moments, right, where this line kind of gets caved in, but they live so much of off the rush, right, and kind of being that counter punch when they get the opportunity. Like how often you just see Celebrini, like they'll spend 30 seconds in their own zone, and then Celebrini gets the puck, and then they're off to the races. And that's kind of the way that this line likes to play right now, which I think as they continue to mature, you'll see them be more just spending time in their own zone. But I thought Smith was a little quiet tonight. Celebrini did his thing, and Toffoli got the goal on the power play there, which was big. So Graf, Misa, Gaudet played 537, 6-3 shot attempts, 3-2 extra shots, had a goal, 0.63 to 0.07 expected goals, 4-1 scoring chances, 3-0 high danger chances. Again, this line did get more, like they're going to get favorable zone starts, but they've been taking advantage of it, right? Graf had like 2 golden chances tonight with some opportunities. Like I said, Misa scored his first goal in the NHL, and this line has worked really well together. Granted, limited minutes, but they have been effective when they have been out there. So now, hopefully, as Misa continues to grow in his role, this line can start to kind of maybe share the load a little bit, and it's not so much that the top 6 having to do everything. And if the Sharks can have like a legitimate third line for the first time in forever, then you can start to talk about winning a couple more games. I think the big difference tonight was I think the Sharks' bottom 6 was better than the Wild's bottom 6, and that's something we talked about in the preview, where I think that's and like even the Goodrow, Delangelo, Reeves, right? Reeves had a goal tonight. They only played 3:10 together because Reeves played like less than 4 minutes, but they were extremely effective when they were out there. And again, Ryan Reeves quietly growing on me. I know. 7-3 shot attempts for that line, 5-1 extra shots, had a goal, did give up a goal as well. That one that bounced off the Landry and like rolled over Askarov, like he had no idea where it was at. But 0.19 to 0.02 expected goals for 2-1. Like I said, this bottom 6, I think it's not though, like you can kind of squint. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's better than what it has been. And I think though, like having a legitimate third line of like Graf, Misa, and Gaudet, and now like Goodrow and Dellandrea can play, in that like 8 to 10 minute range, and then be useful on the penalty kill instead of having to play more 5-on-5 time. And I think that's why you're seeing this line be more effective and this bottom 6 be more effective, because guys I think are just better in their role, like kind of better suited in what their roles are supposed to be right now. So, we're getting there, guys. We're slowly getting there. Defensively, among the how the pairings worked out here. So we had Ferraro, Iorio, they were led the way when it came to Corsi. They were positive at 52.94%, 9-8 shot attempts. Orlov Liljegren, 48%, 12-13. Darnay's and Dickinson, 40%, 6-9. Just so you know, William Juracek, they were at 36%. So, and like I kind of was keeping an eye on the William Dickinson thing, because right, a lot of people still think the Sharks should have drafted William, and if the Sharks had drafted William, like William would be a great player, but I don't think William on the Sharks would be like lifting them up to like any, like this wouldn't be like a 500 team or something like that with William. Like you saw a lot of positive things from William, and he had a goal, a bit fluky, but I think Dickinson plays better defensively, and I think the Sharks ask more defensively from Dickinson right now than they do from William. And like there was watching William today, there's nothing about William where I'm like, man, the Sharks made the wrong choice here. Like I think they're both slowly getting there, and it's hard to be a defenseman at 19 and 20 years old. So like I don't think, again, watching this one game, I don't think the William is like, like clearly the choice that the Sharks should have made, because he's been, he does have some more points and stuff, but I think, like I said, I think Dickinson is being asked to do more defensively, and I do think in the long run that's going to work out for Dickinson as he kind of builds the foundation of his defense, and I think the offense will quickly come for Dickinson here. So as for Askarov here, really quickly, getting the back-to-back starts, right? We'd seen where the Sharks were very much like we're going to continue to rotate. Well, with the way that he had played, he earned that that next start. All situations here, 28 saves on 33 shots, 5 goals allowed, expected goals against was 4.19. So maybe I think that Bullion one is one he wanted it back, but like none of the other goals were like those are just great goals, like were a couple of those on the power play. And like nothing from Askarov tonight was like made you be like, oh man, that was a terrible performance from Askarov. Like he made some big saves in the overtime there to keep the Sharks in it. And like when you're living in a world where you're giving up 31 shot attempts in the third period at 5-on-5 there, like it's your life's going to be hard. So but he went 6 of 9 on high danger, 7 of 8 on mid danger, and 15 of 16 on low danger shots for Askarov tonight. So I think though solid performance from him. Hopefully he can continue to build on this. I would probably go to Nedeljkovic on Tuesday against the Kings, and then I just want to see Askarov in the reverse or in the 35th anniversary jerseys. So that's what I would do. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me tonight. We'll be back tomorrow on Monday. We'll Monday evening, Tuesday. We'll talk about what we learned from the past week. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at my fry hole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.